What is up, breath of fresh air? This is a little bit of an interesting topic today, but I'm Patrick. I'm gonna be your host for today, and like I said, we've got an interesting topic, so let's dive right into it and go ahead and say, LA Clippers, y'all are under the microscope. Let's get it. All right, so today or yesterday or whenever it was, Kawhi Leonard signed a 4-year contract for $176.3 million. All right, let's go into the contract stuff about this first because it's kind of weird about what he did. During the playoffs last year against the Utah Jazz, Kawhi Leonard did a partial ACL tear in his knee and was out for the season. Fast forward a little bit, or was out for the rest of the playoffs. Fast forward a little bit, he had surgery in July sometime. Excuse me. And was in his final year to. And, he had one more year, but he had a choice to opt out of it. Well, he opted out and missed out on $36 million. What he could have done is opted in to his $36 million, went for a 1-1 season, which means he would have played for one and chose to opt for another one. And then he could have signed a 5-year deal for $235 million. But like I said, yesterday or today or whenever it was, he decided that he opted out for the free agent. Would have made him the biggest free agent in this class this year, and went for the 4-year, $176 million. Which, I don't blame him. I mean, I would have probably opted for the 4-year, which would have locked me in a lot of guaranteed money. Plus, I'm not playing this year. He's still, like I said, he just went through his surgery on his knee to repair that. So he's probably going to miss majority of the season, if not all of it. Truthfully, I'd probably say he's going to miss all of it. So he needs to be paid. So that's probably the reason why he opted out of his $36 million. Took on the $176 million over 4 years with an option to opt out on his 4th year, which is actually quite coincidental. Paul George's same contract that he signed back in December, for $44 million a year. I do personally think a lot of this has to do with his knee injury. He would like to be paid for the year, and if he did opt for his $36 million, obviously he would have been paid that, but it's not $44 million. So that's one. Two, I think he was, my personal opinion, I think he was trying to, get close to what Paul George is. Plus, the Clippers are getting a new arena at the end of 2025. So that puts both him and Paul George right there along of that situation where they are leaving the Clippers as the Clippers get a new arena. So I mean, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I just do think that the biggest part of his decision was probably due to the ACL injury in his knee. But with all of that being said, I know that was a little confusing, but hey, it's contracts, and contracts are always confusing. So that's what I'll say about it. But this is what I'm really wanting to get to. Last year, it looked like the Clippers were on their way to a Western Conference final. My personal opinion, I didn't see it. It was, obviously there was a couple of teams that were better than them, but this is my thing. They're bringing back Kawhi Leonard. They're bringing back Paul George. They're bringing back Serge Ibaka. Well, let's just say this. They're practically bringing back the same exact team. And I think they want to see if this is a Western Conference Final team. Well, you already lost Kawhi Leonard for the season. I'm going to go ahead and save the season. So I don't understand what the Clippers are doing. To me, I think the Clippers are doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And I don't think they're getting a different result. I mean, Paul George is a good player, but he's not a great player. He's I don't know how to say it. He is not that good of a player. I mean, that's just to be completely blunt about him as a player as a whole. Now, don't get me wrong. I know this is coming from a guy that is not in the NBA. He is much better than I am, and I get that. But from an NBA standpoint, he does not move well with the ball. He's a great shooter, but it seems to me that the Clippers keep looking at this player in Paul George. They keep looking at Kawhi Leonard. They keep looking at all these other players that isn't in there expecting a different result than what they've gotten for the past 2 years, which was a loss in the playoffs and a loss in the playoffs. To me, I don't think that. I mean, at some point, you got to look at the people that is surrounding Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and start moving in a different direction. Signing the same people over and over again, expecting a different result is obviously, we all know, is the definition of insanity. And I want to say right now, putting it in breath of fresh air, the Clippers are insane right now. Signing these big, long deals, max deal to Kawhi Leonard, max deal to Paul George, and expecting that they are going to win an NBA final, to me, is crazy. I think that they're going to get pretty much the same result that they've gotten for the past 2 years, which is making it second round and getting beat out. And that's that. They got beat out in the Western Conference Finals last year, and then didn't make it to the Western Conference Finals this year. They lost. When they lost Kawhi Leonard, that was that. So, with all of that being said, with the contracts to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and them both getting to opt out on their 4th year, this to me just seems like the same old song and dance from the LA Clippers that says we're going to keep doing the same thing we're doing and expect a different result. I think the Clippers are going to get the same exact result that they did this year. The next year, they're going to get the same result next year, and they're going to get the same result next year, and that's when Paul George and Kawhi Leonard get to opt out. They get to move to their new arena. They'll get to actually spend some money and probably do something then, maybe. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that this is the same old thing, just paying them more money to do it. So anyway, that's what I'm breathing on. You know the deal. Smash that subscribe button. Leave us some comments, feedback. Let us know what we're doing, good, bad, ugly. It don't matter. We love the feedback, and we always respond to the comments. So leave them. Tell me what you think about this topic, and let's spark some conversation. Until next time, I'm out.